what we've been looking at is the idea that everything gets handled in communication and that the results that we're getting in organizations is a function of communication. And for the most part, even though we know that, I mean, if you talk to people, they'll tell you, yeah, you got to communicate, you got to be effective at communication. It lives as a generality as compared to specifics. So we're proposing that there are 4 types of conversations that you're already in unknowingly, that if we were to track you for a while and watch what you talked about and the things that you were discussing, we would find that you were involved in the 4 conversations already, but not necessarily distinguished as such. And that because they're not distinguished as such and you don't actually can classify them, we don't have a handle on how to improve them or modify them. And the 4 conversations that you're engaged in to a lesser or greater extent and effectively or ineffectively are initiative conversations, which are used to propose or start anything, which can be used at any time to launch a grand new reorganization, a whole new strategic initiative, or something as simple as setting up new practices or habits or going on dates or anything that you just want to start newly. Then understanding conversations, which are really the conversations in which people come to understand what's required for fulfilling something new, or come to terms with something new. So if you implement a new policy and people want to understand the policy, you have a conversation for understanding. If you're going to put in place new practices and you want people to understand those new practices, you have a conversation for understanding. It's the place where people have an opportunity to get their questions answered and determine how they stand relative to what's being proposed. Understanding doesn't mean that they'll accept or agree with what's being proposed. It just means that it's a conversation to have people understand, and then they'll make their own determination of where they are with regard to whatever's being suggested. Performance conversations are the only conversations that are specifically designed to have people get into action. So if you actually want people to do anything, you'll want to have conversations for performance, which are making requests and promises in time, being sure that people are actually available to carry out what you're asking, that they have the resources available for doing it, and that they're actually clear that they're making an agreement with you. Part of the implicit in conversations for performance is that you're going to hold people account to what they say. So you're asking them to give you their word on whatever it is that you're requesting. The last set of conversations, and not necessarily that they go in the order, but the last set that we're looking at are closure conversations. Closure conversations, as the book says, creates endings. Their sole purpose is to create a completion or closure with regard to something, some event, or some happening from the past, whether you're responsible for them or not. So the whole idea is to bring about some sense that that's complete. It doesn't mean it's forgotten, it's just complete. I just finished writing a blog this morning on Tiger Woods' apology, looking at it from the standpoint of the 4 A's of the closure conversations. It's interesting to see the debate about, did it really matter? Did it really work? Where's everybody left with it? Do you really believe him? Is he really sincere? All that kind of stuff. So the closure conversations are the least used conversations in terms of what's available in them. And I think one of the reasons they're least used is for a lot of us, they're an unfamiliar and they're uncomfortable kinds of conversations. Even though all of us like to be appreciated and recognized, we have a hard time appreciating and recognizing, and we have really a hard time being appreciated and recognized.